Manuang Aldo. Good day. I am Maria Patricia Luis Dinoy, 19 from the Department of Civil Engineering. The subject Life and Works of Rizal was established under the Republic Act 1425, also known as the Rizal Law. The subject aims to awaken nationalism and patriotism within one's heart through Rizal's work. However, before it became a law, Rizal Bill that is proclaimed by Senator M. Recto has undergone through a lot of criticism, mostly coming from the churches. La Indolancia de Los Filipinos, popularly known as the Indolence of the Filipinos, was written as an answer to the alleged idleness of the Filipino people during Spanish regime. By that, originally, Filipinos were industrious and hardworking. But he also claimed that Filipinos are indolent due to different causes, such as, firstly, Filipinos are wise enough to adjust themselves to the country's tropical climate. According to him, an hour's work under the burning sun, amid pernicious influences springing from nature and activity, is equal to a day's labor in a temperate climate. Spanish colonizers became sluggish after stepping their feet on the Philippines, wherein the officials came to work late and left early. However, after a while, they do nothing in line with their jobs or responsibilities. But they have women servants who dresses them up, fend them, remove their shoes, and more that they could have done for themselves. Secondly, Spain eliminated the natives' commitment to work. The lives of the Filipinos back then was convenient. In fact, wagering and agriculture is productive, as well as the poultry. Trading between the Philippines and some countries in Asia, as well as the Middle East, has stopped because Filipinos has no arms to defend themselves against pirates. And also, the government did not support them, resulting to gradual disappearance of flourishing country. Additionally, due to senseless wars against other countries in Europe, as well as the Muslims in the Mindanao, the Filipinos were required by the government, forced to be exact, to work on the shipyard, road, and other public works, abandoning their agriculture, industry, and commerce. Thirdly, they don't receive fair payment for their products. Rizal said that they were exploited. After being treated as slaves, they are forced to sell their products at very cheap price. Or worse, it will be taken from them for free. Taxes were extremely high, so much that the huge portion of what they've earned went to the government or to the priors. Fourthly, the art concept of religion. The friars bury a big misconception into the Filipinist mind. According to them, it is easier for a poor man to enter heaven than the rich one. So they preferred not to work and remain poor, so that after they died, they could easily enter heaven. Fifthly, the ruler's selfishness. Instead of invoking his people's negligence, the governor would only think about his personal interest. He focuses only on getting rid of his rivals, extent of power, the collection of taxes, and more, while totally neglecting the situation of the Filipino people. Sixthly, gambling was established, and there was a wide propagation during those times. Filipinos were deprived of capital to start their own businesses and to support their agriculture. Lastly, the crook system of education. What was being taught in the schools were repetitive prayers, and other things that aren't useful or crucial to the country's progress. They were taught to devote their whole lives to the church and offer some money for some miracle and salvation. Zal stated that indolence in the Philippines is a chronic malady, but not a hereditary one. After the arrival of the Spanish invaders, Filipino people were productively trading with the Middle East and Asian countries, productively cultivating their lands. So, indolence is present among Filipinos. Spain magnified it. Their crooked governance, proven by the reports furnished by the Spanish authorities, submerged Filipino morals. Truly that indolence here in the Philippines is persistent. It is evident even in the simplest forms such as jaywalking and segregated trash. Kaya na lang and bukas na lang is very common among Filipinos. Additionally, we have this Filipino time, which refers to being late for a minute up to hours compared to standard time. It's people's unwillingness for an early start that became a part of our culture, a part of Filipino culture. The indolence of the Filipinos imparts that Spain has a huge impact on Filipino indolence. They wanted learning and knowledge, they were deprived of it. When they wanted to put up some business, the government did nothing to support them or give them any protection. When they cultivate their lands and engage in trading, they were made to pay enormous taxes and were exploited by foreign people. It's not only in the Philippines that experiences such idleness, but also at the other countries, for it depends on the criteria set upon. So, indolence is a choice. We cannot put all the blame on a country that is deprived of opportunities and progress. Their foundation has fallen. What have happened years ago has a huge impact on why such idleness and procrastination was continuously happening. Learned a lot from Rizal's essay and inspired to strive hard for progress. No hindrance bring you down from pursuing and achieving your goals and purpose in life. Parted that even the most illiterate person deserve equality. Pointed out that we find tendency very natural and have to admit it and bless it. It is not hereditary. I felt the relief. And indolence is a choice. It is our choice to remain like how we've been addressed before or change for our own good. I was astonished by how Rizal shifted the blame to the Spanish rulers. I am not saying it's wrong because they really ruined the ancient habit of working of Filipino people. It's just like the extent of his knowledge is to the highest, and it's really amazing. Wondering what if the Spaniards examined this? Would it change anything? Who knows? Generalize. Filipinos nowadays are enjoying freedom, democracy, and an access to free education, yet remains indolent. This is probably the reason why the Philippines remains a developing country. If only cameras have existed before and have filmed how industrious our ancestors are, maybe it could change us. This work of ourselves be a lesson learned to us. We should not let anyone deprive us from our rights. Be a responsible citizen of this country who love his fellow countrymen and care for them. Let us prove to ourselves, like how Rizal does, that we are never indolent towards our well-being.